Today we're here with Mahogany Moton. She's the person who's in charge of all the weddings that happen at Grace Cathedral. You're pretty much the best person I can imagine at this job. It reminds me of the movie, the Wedding Planner.
Yes.
And who's the person? Jennifer Lopez.
That's Jennifer Lopez.
Yeah. So at the very beginning of the movie, they show all these pictures of Grace Cathedral, this cathedral, and this little girl dreams of growing up to be a wedding planner. And you know, you get the romance of it, you know, and she ends up falling in love with somebody who saves her from a dumpster that's coming down the hill about a block away from here.
Yes, he was actually he was a groom for a wedding that she was planning that she didn't know yet. And very similar to Jennifer's Lopez character in that movie, I've been dreaming of coordinating weddings since I was a child.
Oh, that's great. That's
so
right.
Yeah, weddings truly are my love language.
Oh, I love that. You know, our daughter, Maylia, when she was 7 years old, that's what she wanted to grow up and do. And she may still do it, you know? She hasn't decided what her career is going to be.
I love how you call it a calling.
Yeah,
that's the first time I've ever heard that. So thank you for referring to it that way.
Yeah, no, I just feel like anybody who's around you, all couples, their like love for each other is kind of magnified because of you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So when you were a child and you imagined like helping people in this way, like what was it about it that you liked, that you wanted to be part of your story?
You know, I guess I've always said even before there was a Pinterest and there was like Pinterest boards, I understood that there was different vibes, for lack of a better word, for weddings. And so I would spend my hard-earned allowance buying bridal magazines and putting together pictures of brides with different table settings and things.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, it's just always something that interests me.
Yeah, I mean, when I was a boy, I wanted to be a priest at Grace Cathedral too. So
Yes,
here at this particular place.
And what a beautiful place.
Oh my gosh, completely. I mean, so you know, if we were doing this right, we'd show like the little tiny intimate chapel where people get married when they only have like 5 people. We'd show this room that we're in right here if you have about 100 people, and we could have a wedding with 2,000 people here.
Absolutely. One of the unique things about Grace Cathedral is that we have wedding spaces that can accommodate what I call micro weddings. So say you have a small guest list, 5 or more, all the way up to the grand ceremonies of more than 500 people.
Let me tell you about a wedding. Were you here? I think you were here for this. Remember when my friend, he was a young man, he was like 30, and his girlfriend and him, you know, started coming here every week. I'd known him since he was 10 years old, and they never missed a Sunday. Every Sunday they'd meet me at the end of the church, shake my hand at the receiving line, and then during COVID, we had their wedding, and it was you, me, their parents, them, and it was empty, the whole cathedral. That was such a power, and we were doing it because he had a brain tumor, and we didn't know whether he was going to live or not, and he ended up dying of that brain tumor about 3 or 4 months after we did the wedding. But could you tell me some of the memories that you have from different weddings here, and you know, what sticks out as you look back on them?
Absolutely, and I too remember that wedding. Malcolm, I do feel that it was one of the greatest. Sorry, I'm stuttering it a little bit. It was one of the greatest celebrations of love that I've ever been a part of. So thank you for that.
I mean, the couple loved each other so much, and it was just so powerful.
Absolutely.
It was like a little like a beautiful rose growing up between the cracks in the pavement.
It's true. It's true. Another wedding that sticks out is actually shortly after I joined the staff at Grace, we did a wedding in the choir. And the choir is one of our 7 wedding spaces here at the cathedral. It lends itself to a more traditional feel, and it usually works for couples who are really interested in music. And so we actually had a full choir in the choir, and that was one of my favorites.
Yeah, I love that. With so many great moments and so many famous people too have been married here.
Yeah.
You know, John Glenn is in the windows up above, and he came to his daughter's wedding here and saw his own image in the stained glass window.
How wonderful.
Yeah, that's really wonderful.
Yeah, I love that.
So what do you try to do to prepare couples as they're kind of getting ready for weddings? I mean, I do a pre-marriage counseling class that I do with them and meet with them, but you do the same kind of thing in preparing them for their big day.
I do, yes. We have an initial consultation where I really just kind of talk through their desires for the day. And I also take the time just to kind of explain the liturgy and the flow of wedding ceremonies here at the cathedral. I'm sure, as you know, all of the ceremonies here follow the rites and practices of the Episcopal Church.
Yeah, exactly. Whenever I see a wedding, I always, on television, I was like, oh, they should have the groomsmen lined up in this way. But we're so lucky to have had we've been doing weddings in this space, this chapel. We've been doing weddings here for since the 1920s.
Yes.
So over 100 years in this little space. So much to offer people when they come.
Definitely, and you certainly feel the collective love of all the ceremonies that have been held here.
Yeah. Well, there's going to be tons of people who are watching the video who aren't going to get married at Grace Cathedral. But do you have any advice for couples as they get prepared to get married? I mean, you've taken so many people through that. What advice do you have, regardless of where they get married? What advice do you have for them as a couple getting ready?
Absolutely, I do, Malcolm. So one thing that I share with couples who assist here at the cathedral and elsewhere is just to remember that it's a special day for you too. Not everything will go perfect, so maybe pick one or two things that's really important to you, and everything else, just kind of let it go.
I love that. I sometimes when I'm meeting with couples, we get so close to the wedding, and I say, listen, we're so close to the time that the ceremony takes place. If there's a complicated thing and a simple thing, always choose the simple thing.
Absolutely, absolutely.
You can choose a complicated thing, but months in advance.
Yes, agreed.
Mahogany, I'm so grateful for what you do at Grace Cathedral, for all the couples that you shepherd through here, and thanks so much for your service.
Malcolm, I'm grateful for you, and thank you for carving out this time to talk with me today.
Oh, sure. My name is Malcolm Clemens Young. I'm the Dean of Grace Cathedral here in San Francisco, California. Thanks for watching More Good News.